Alright, today we're going to be doing some review of multiplication. Our learning objective is review of common multiplication terms and some practice with multiplication. Let's jump right in. Alright, let's begin by reviewing some of the important vocabulary that you will need to use while we're talking about multiplication. Great thing about having a flipped classroom is if you are a quick note taker, you'll be able to move along at my speed because I am a quick speaker. If you're a little bit slower, you want to make sure your notes are neat enough to read and take some time with those. Simply stop the video when you need to, continue on, and then press play to go back to it when you have caught up. Alright? Okay, I would also suggest using a highlighter or a different colored pen for the term, and then unhighlighted or pencil for the definition. Let's get started. First vocabulary word is product, the answer to a multiplication problem. Next is factor, a number that is multiplied by another number to find a product. For example, 4 times 6 equals 24. In this example, 4 and 6 are factors of 24. You might think back to years past when you learned about factor trees, and we will be reviewing those as well. Multiply is the act of finding the total number of items in a given number of groups when each group contains the same number of items. It is a shortcut for addition. Finally, on this page we have array, which is an arrangement that shows objects in rows as well as columns. Last three terms for today. Set is simply a group of items. Times is another word to mean multiply, and multiple is the product of a whole number and any other number. For example, the multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. That just means that we've multiplied a whole number 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So let's put those vocabulary terms to use. What multiplication number sentence can we use to represent this set of squares? And so let's look at this set of squares and put that into a multiplication problem, 6 times 4, where 6 and 4 are the factors in this problem. Now we need to find the product. Let's take a side note for just a minute. If you don't know your multiplication facts, and if you don't know them quickly, you are going to need to spend some extra time over the next few weeks getting up to speed. It is vitally important that you are able to recall your math facts quickly. It's going to be the basis for everything we do in 5th grade math. Alright? So, back to our problem. 6 times 4, the factors, our product is going to be 24. Alright, let's take some practice with some simple multiplication problems. These you should be able to do in your head. What I want you to do is to stop the video, go ahead and write EX with a colon, which is a shorthand for the word example. Write each of these 4 problems down and then go ahead and solve them. Once you've solved the problems, start the video back up and we'll go over the answers together. Alright, let's move through and see what we can find for the products of these. 12 times 3 is going to be 36. 11 times 4, 44. 9 times 4 also comes out to 36. 6 times 3 is 18. No bonus points for getting those correct, but you can give yourself a pat on the back if you were able to successfully complete these 4 basic problems. Now let's move into multiplication with regrouping. What we have here is a problem 2-digit by 1-digit. But as we move through multiplication in 5th grade, you'll see 3, sometimes 4-digit problems multiplied by 2 and even 3 digits. So it's going to be important that you remember how to regroup in multiplication. Alright, so we have our factors 12 and 8. We're going to start by multiplying the numbers in the ones place. So a little place value is going to come into this. We have 2 times 8. If you know your facts, that's going to be 16. I'm going to put the 6 in the product area, and I'm going to regroup the 1 over to the tens. All right, my second step is going to be to multiply the tens. Because I've got a 2-digit by a 1-digit, I'm going to multiply the tens place in the top number by the ones place in the bottom number. Oops. So 8 times 1 is going to be 8. I'm going to take that number and add the 1 that I've regrouped at the top. So 8 times 1, 8 plus 1 is going to be 9. I'm going to put that answer in the tens place of the product. So the answer to the problem, 12 times 8, is 96. Right, here's some practice problems for you to do. Just like we did previously, you're going to write EX with a colon, copy down each of the 4 problems in your composition book for examples, and then you are going to solve the problem. We're going to work the first one together, 29 times 3. So just like we did earlier, we're going to multiply the ones placed together. 9 times 3 is 27. 7 goes at the bottom. I'm going to regroup the 2. Then I'm going to multiply the tens place at the top by the ones place at the bottom. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8. Stop the video, go ahead and finish the last 3 problems on your own, start it back up, and then we'll check to see if you did the problems correctly. Alright, let's see how you did. We've got 2 times 5 is 10. I'm going to regroup. 1 times 5 is 5, plus 1 is 6. 26 times 5, 6 times 5 is 30. I'm going to regroup my 3. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 3 is 13. And finally, we've got 5 times 4 is 20. Regroup the 2. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 2 is going to be 10, so 100. Again, no bonus points for getting those correct, but you can certainly give yourself a pat on the back. Okay, so let's put some problem solving into our review today. Ms. Rodriguez bought 4 bags of cookies. There are 17 cookies in each bag. How many cookies did Ms. Rodriguez buy? Now to solve this one, I would suggest we use the 4-box method. If you don't know how to use that to solve problem solving, it's a good idea that you learn right now. It's a great way to organize your thoughts and the information that can be confusing in a word problem. So we're just going to make... Alright, in the top left box we're going to actually write the question that's being asked in the problem. In the top right box we're going to write any important numbers that are in the problem, even ones that may not be relevant, and we'll talk about that later, about extra information. The bottom are operation, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. You can probably guess that because we are working on multiplication review, pretty good chances this is going to be a multiplication problem. And then finally in the bottom right box we're going to write the answer, and we're going to make sure to include a label. You always need a label with your answer when you are working a word problem. Alright, so the question that we're being asked is, how many cookies did Miss Rodriguez buy? And our numbers right now are 4 bags, and there's 17 cookies in each bag. I gave you a hint, it's probably going to be multiplication. Let's go ahead and set up our problem. We're going to put the 2-digit on the top and the 1-digit on the bottom. And here we go with our multiplying with regrouping. 7 times 4, 28. Regroup the 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So we have our answer, 68 cookies. If you want to do an excellent job, you would put it in a complete sentence and say, Ms. Rodriguez bought 68 cookies. Alright, because this is a multiple choice, we're going to come over here and we're going to try to bubble in, and we're going to be glad this is not something that gets processed in a machine, because I didn't do a very good bubble in job. Alright. Now in this problem solving, they've done some work for us and they've already put in a nice table So all we have to do is fill in the missing pieces in order to solve the problem. We don't need to use the 4-box method in this one. Alright, it says a hexagon has 6 sides. You should already know that. Review of geometry. Miguel drew 7 hexagons. We're trying to find out how many sides did he draw, basically all together. So if I look at my rule for hexagons, 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like I'm just adding plus 1 each time. So this would be 5, 6, 7. If I look at the sides, 6, 12, 18, 24, I'm doing I could say plus 6, or we'll just go with plus 6. So then we've got 30, 36, and 42. So if Miguel drew 7 hexagons, how many sides did he draw? 42 sides. And again, my bubbling up is not so great. Alright, you're going to work this one on your own, and tomorrow when you come in and take your quick check quiz, we'll see if you came up with the correct answer. Make sure this is also written in your composition book, the table and the correct answer, so that you can have an easy point on the question in tomorrow's quiz.